Welcome back to the Bears Baseball Network, and Logan Eckert becomes the third player in Bears history to have a 3-homer game. 3 home runs in a single game. Logan Eckert joins that exclusive club. Back in 2020, Floyd had the first ever Bears 3-homer game. Carson Downsbach followed up on it last year, and Logan Eckert joins that club this year, a 3-homer game. What a fantastic job by Logan Eckert to join a very, very exclusive club in the Bears. You know, in youth baseball, you only get 3 at-bats a game usually. You know, it's rare when you get 4. So a 3-homer game in youth baseball is basically like a 4-homer game in the MLB. Very, very impressive stuff and a very exclusive club. So congratulations, Logan, for that one. It rained on our parade this weekend. We did not get to play on Sunday, but despite that, a ton of home runs just from Saturday. Along with Logan Eckert's 3 homers, Lucas Levy had 3 homers, and I didn't get a chance to double check this, but he had 2 homers in the same inning, and I'm not sure how many times that's been done. That is probably a very exclusive club as well, so congratulations for Lucas Levy. Floyd, Jack Roberts, and Jack Dalton each had 2 homers on the weekend. Rhys Payne, Carter Arens, Will Diekman, Ben Combs, Ivan Saxon, Sam Dollins, Eric Mao, Teagan Kreitler, Santiago Story, Ben Lillard, and Evan Osborne each had 1. So only one day of baseball for the Bears this weekend, and still a ton of balls getting hit over the fence. This 14 Dalton squad, man, they continue to crush them over the fence. 10 home runs in 2 games on Saturday, and you know, some people say, well, maybe the field was really small. Well, the opposing team for 14 Dalton in the 2 games hit 0. So Dalton 10, opposing team 0. So I guess the field was just small for Dalton. So a fantastic weekend for the Bears in terms of the home run department. Unfortunately, did not get to finish our tournaments on Sunday. Could have been a lot more trophies, so a very unfortunate event. But it is the end of the month. You know what that means. That means we have our June All-Stars. This month, we've got our June Youth All-Stars, our June High School All-Stars for the first time, and of course, our June All-Rookie team. Let's get right into it with that All-Rookie team. Let's take a look. The All-Rookie team, now including our high school guys, Mason Geddes, Jacob Mon, ZZ Garcia, and Santiago Story, all 3-time All-Rookies of the month. Fantastic from those guys. And obviously we got a couple newcomers. Chase Acker, obviously a high school guy. Sam Wortham, high school guy. And Caleb Sanneman, high school guy. Lane Mabry and Sam Dollins, they are not high school guys, but they are getting their first appearance on the Rookie of the Month team. Fantastic job from them. Couple guys to talk about on this list. Obviously Willarett, another dominant month for him. We will definitely be talking about him later in the Rookie of the Month and MVP of the Month conversation. But how about Sam Wortham on the mound, a sub-3 ERA? He's a guy for that 16U Floyd staff who they're expecting big things from, and he comes out firing. A very impressive month for him in the month of June. Let's go ahead and take a look at our All-June Youth All-Stars. Evan Lancaster, Teagan Kreitler, and Brendan Bass, the only 3 guys who've been an All-Star in all 3 months. So fantastic job by those guys. Couple of first-time All-Stars, Jack Roberts, Logan Eckert, Jackson Dormeyer, and Eric Mao, fresh off the IL, all All-Stars for the first time of the month. And it was a fantastic month from a lot of these guys, and some guys who put up consistently good months just over and over. It's really tough to do, especially how we do it positionally, where you're constantly battling against another guy in your position. That's why there have been so many few consistent All-Stars, because there's only one spot for a first baseman. You know, we don't have a DH. It's not like a list where it's just the best 10 players. You know, it's by position. You know, that's why Liam Schreiber and Vince Dalton keep eating MVP or eating All-Star appearances off each other, because they both play the same position. So it's been really interesting to see these battles play out. And the only guy who has been a 3-time All-Star, Teagan Kreitler, Brendan Bass, and Evan Lancaster. That has been fantastic to see those guys putting up MVP and, in Evan Lancaster's case, Cy Young caliber seasons. Let's move on. This is the first time we've gotten to unveil our high school All-Stars of June. Let's take a look. Obviously, all of these guys are going to be first-time All-Stars because this is our first full month of Bears high school baseball. But a couple names to look out for, of course. A big month from Elliot Myers at the plate. He was obviously going to be a guy who we expected to see on this list in the pitching front, but his hitting has been very, very good. He was the best high school first baseman hitter in the month of June. Some other big names, obviously, Jack Bussin was a fantastic pitcher this month of June. Alex Hobson, he could have been an all-star at the plate, but he ends up being an all-star on the mound. And Oliver Saxon, he's a guy who we didn't really talk about his pitching too much preseason, but he's been in precision pitching this month, and he had a very, very nice month of June on the mound, so a fantastic job for him. No hacking time this week, but we do have our June awards coming up next. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Brandon Burnsell joins the show, and it is our June awards. You're not going to miss it. We'll be right back.
I'm Landon Nickerson from 16U Floyd, and to be featured on future Hacking Times, send your extra base hits to the email below.
Welcome back to the Bears Baseball Network. We've got our youth and high school awards for the month of June, and we've got a lot of guys to talk about, so let's get right into it. We've got a lot of guys and not a lot of time, so let's move right into the youth Platinum Glove conversation for the month of June. We've got 5 nominees, like always, and I'll go ahead and kick things off with a guy who I really liked as a dark horse to win this award preseason, and he's getting his first nomination for the Platinum Glove of the Month award, and that's Eric Letrania. 13U Floyd may have been the most successful Bears team this month. They were absolutely dominant all month long, and Eric Letrania, a very, very key piece of that infield. You know, a good first baseman makes all the other infielders better. We've talked about that before, and Eric Letrania is a good first baseman, and I think he was a very key part to how good this 13U Floyd team was all month long, and Eric Letrania, certainly a very fantastic fielder. Bernie, our second nominee.
Second nominee, I'm going to go with the best youth outfielder in the Bears, 12U Floyd, captain of the outfield, Carter Fleck. I believe he won it last month. I think he is possibly even the favorite to win the award every month. And if you just need an example of how good this guy is in center field, watch the play he made last weekend. He went in the left center gap, caught the ball and threw the guy by a mile at home. The guy wasn't even halfway to home yet. I mean, he's just insane out there.
Yeah, a third-time nominee. He is the only guy to be nominated for this award every single month. So a fantastic job by Carter Fleck once again. I'm going to move into a guy who's being nominated for the second time, but he's only been eligible 2 times because he was in high school ball for April, and that's Ben Lillard. This guy is a human highlight reel out there. He may be the fastest guy in the organization, definitely one of the fastest guys in the organization, and he just makes some crazy game-changing plays. And sometimes, you know, there's 2 different sides to, I think, the Platinum Glove Award. One side is a guy who just makes all the plays. You know, all the routine plays, he's consistent, does it all the time. And then the other side of it is who's making these insane plays that he has no business making. And I think Ben Lillard kind of falls into that second category because he is a human highlight reel out there. Ben Lillard, a 2-time nominee for this award. Bernie, our next nominee.
We'll go back to 12U Floyd for his second nomination. It's going to be Quinn Steinbeck. I mean, behind the plate, I talk about Carter Fleck being the best center fielder in the youth Bears. Quinn might be the best youth catcher in the Bears. I mean, the kid blocks. He's almost automatic when he blocks behind the plate, and he has a really good plus arm for 12U. And as a plus, he can play any position on the baseball field, and he can do it all above average.
Yeah, Quinn is one of those guys who you can put him anywhere, and he's going to be at least average, if not a very, very good defender at every single position. I'm going to go with the guy I picked to win this award at the beginning of the month, and it's Teagan Kreitler. I'll tell you what, this guy was very shoddy defensively the first 2 months of the season, but turned it around this month. He's getting his first nominee for this award. He had the highest fielding percentage of any second shortstop or third baseman in the youth. And I'll tell you what, you know, Bernie, we talked about this at the beginning of the month when we were making our predictions. Shortstop's kind of the first place you look when you're trying to give a Platinum Glove Award out. Teagan Kreitler, the shortstop for what may be the best team in the Bears at 14U Dalton, and he had a monster month. Bernie, those are our 5 nominees. Go ahead and tell us who won it.
Like you said, Raleigh, if you're looking at defense, the first place you're going to go is shortstop, and he has been lights out. The Platinum Glove winner, first-time winner, Teagan Kreitler.
Yeah, a fantastic month for him. A fantastic turnaround for a guy who looked like he was not going to be the shortstop for very long on that in April, Teagan Kreitler, and he had a monster month defensively. Let's move right into our Rookie of the Month conversation, and I'm going to get things started with a guy who plays for my 12U team, who had a very good month, and that's Jacob Mon. He's a 2-time nominee for this award, and last month it kind of like he was a nominee because he just did enough, and there weren't enough rookies to really fill the nominees. This month he certainly has earned it. A .450 batting average, which was one of the tops on the team, and he had an OPS I believe above 1,200. Yeah, 1,250 was his OPS this month. It was a monster month for Jacob Mon, and certainly deserving of his second nomination. Bernie, another nominee.
We're going to go to someone that it's his first nominee. I was very high on him, all winner. We go to 13 Floyd. It's going to be Ben Combs. He had 22 hits, which led the Bears, a 15.28 OPS, which was top 10, and 24 RBIs, which was second in the Bears. And yeah, I mean, he struggled early on in the season. I think some people kind of forgot about him, but he is all the way back and he is on fire.
Yeah, Ben Combs, maybe a little bit sick of all the hype Andrew Willarett's been getting, and wants a bit of piece of that action for himself, and a monster month for him. He's gotten better month to month to month, so great to see from him. Our third nominee, no surprise here, it is his third nomination. He's the only guy, or actually one of two guys, who's been nominated for this award every single month. It's Andrew Willarett. He's also won it the past 2 months and had another monster month. Looking at this guy, led the Bears in OPS with a 20.44, second in the Bears in batting average with 6.54. I mean, this guy was an absolute animal. Another great month for Andrew Willarett and another fantastic nominee. Bernie, our next nominee.
You talk about the guy who had the second highest average. This guy, who's also his third nomination, has been nominated every month. From 11 Floyd, it's going to be ZZ Garcia. The 667 batting average, which is first in the Bears, a 1,700 OPS, which is sixth, and he was top 5 in hits as well.
Yeah, monster month for ZZ Garcia, our former number 1 prospect. If you remember, he's exceeded his prospect eligibility because he's got too many at-bats on a top team, but was the number 1 prospect when he was a prospect. I'm going to talk about a guy who is making his second nomination. He was nominated back in April and may have been one of the best hitters in the Bears in April. Had a bit of a slow May, but he's back in June. It's Jack Roberts, who had an absolute monster month. Jack Roberts, he was top 3 in both batting average and OPS, 6th in RBIs. He had 5 homers this month and an 1888 OPS. Just an absolute monster month for Jack Roberts, a guy that I really liked preseason. He was my preseason pick for Rookie of the Year, and he really put on a cling this month. May have been the best hitter, just full stop, in the Bears this month. Fantastic month for him. All right, Bernie, those are our 5 nominees. Who is winning this award this month?
Rookie of the month. This was a lot closer. I think it's been in past months. A lot of rookies came a really long way this month, but it's still going to go to 13 Floyd's very own Andrew Willarett.
Yeah, hard to deny a guy who led the Bears in OPS this month, 20.44. I mean, it's just what he does every single weekend. I mean, you talk about this month, he hit 6.54 this month. His average went down on the season. He had 6.54 and his average went down. I mean, that's how good he's been. So a crazy month for him, and will win his third Rookie of the Month award. Let's move on to our Youth Cy Young. And I'm going to get things started with a guy that I've kind of been on the train all season long about, and that is Evan Osborne. Another fantastic month for Evan Osborne. It's his second nomination. He was top 5 this month in both ERA, FIP, and strikeouts. Top 5 in the Bears with a 2.56 ERA. Another fantastic month. He was probably the best pitcher, or at least one of the best pitchers on this 14U Dalton squad, which looked like a very strong pitching staff this month. Our second nominee, Bernie.
Our second nominee, 12U Floyd. This guy's been nominated every single month. It's going to be Evan Lancaster. He was top 4 in the Bears in innings pitched, Ks, walks, ERA, and FIP. He had 22 Ks, just 5 walks. He was third in ERA in the Bears with 1.37 and first in FIP with a .98.
Yeah, an insane month. He is the only guy who's been nominated 3 times for the Cy Young, and that's going to serve him well when we go into the season-long awards, that he's been the only guy who's every single month been in the conversation for the Cy Young Award. Another fantastic month for him. I'm going to move on to another guy who's been very consistent. It's his second nominee for this award, but he was definitely in the conversation in all 3 months. It's Jayden Highland. He was the best pitcher for 11U Floyd this month. 15 2/3 innings pitched. He just had 1 walk and a 2.68 ERA. That was the fewest amount of walks in the Bears by any qualified pitcher. A qualified pitcher is 10 innings pitched or more. Fewest walks in the Bears, and was 3rd in innings pitched in the month. It was a very nice month for Jayden Highland, who really led the way for that 11U Floyd pitching staff. Bernie, our 4th nominee.
4th nominee. This is this guy's first time getting nominated, but it's not his fault. Not his fault, okay? The first leg of the season, he got hurt. He's been out. When he came back this month, it's going to be 14U Dalton's Eric Mao. He had a 1.7 ERA, 1.3 FIP, 16 Ks to 4 walks, You talk about a rotation of Dalton that's already been lights out. You had Eric Mao do it, and it is now way above elite.
Yeah, that 14U Dalton squad, they almost have too much pitching, which is obviously a fantastic problem to have. Fresh off the IL, Eric Mao immediately into the Cy Young conversation. Our last nominee here is a bit of a surprise. You know, even preseason, this guy would have been a surprise. And even if you asked me in May to pick this guy to be in the Cy Young conversation, I think it's a surprise. But it's Nayo Guzman. Nayo Guzman led the Bears this month in innings pitched, strikeouts, and was third in FIP with a 1.49 FIP, a 2.85 ERA. A monster month for Nayo Guzman, who had the best strikeout to walk ratio in the organization. 32 strikeouts to just 7 walks. Now Guzman, a precision pitching guy this month, an absolutely fantastic month. He was the best pitcher for that 13U Floyd squad, who, again, might have been the most impressive Bears team this month. A very fantastic job for now Guzman. We'll see if he's able to keep it going. But those are our 5 nominees. Bernie, who wins it for the month of June?
The Youth Cy Young winner. This guy's been this close multiple months. But now he finally gets the W. It's going to be 12U Floyd's Evan Lancaster.
Yeah, a fantastic month for him. Fantastic season for him so far. And congratulations to Evan. All right, our youth MVP. This may have been the hottest race we've had all season long. You know, each month there's kind of been a dominant player every month. You know, obviously Vince Dalton the first month was dominant. Teagan Kreitler in May was dominant. There really were several dominant players this month, and some guys who are getting their first nominees. In fact, 3 different guys getting their first nominees because they had such big months. And I'll go ahead and get things started with a guy who is in the Rookie of the Month conversation. So I'm not going to talk about him too much since I already did. It's Jack Roberts. This guy was an absolute beast. Again, his ranks for this month, Jack Roberts was 3rd in batting average, 3rd in OPS, and 6th in RBIs this month. A monster month. A rookie has yet to win the Rookie of the Month, a rookie has yet to win the MVP award for a month, and I think Jack Roberts definitely put himself in the conversation this month. Bernie, our second nominee.
Second nominee, I talked about a lot over the course of the month. First time nominee, it's going to be Landon Nickerson from 14U Dalton. Again, I've said it before, it's a 12U kid playing on 14U Dalton, hitting home runs on high school fields. He had 4 home runs this month, which was 4 home runs this month, which was 3rd in the Bears. 23 RBIs, which ranked 3rd, and an OPS of over 1.7.
Yeah, Landon Nickerson's had a monster year. I'm surprised it's just his first nomination, but a monster month and a monster year so far for Landon Nickerson. Our next nominee is a guy who is the only player who's been nominated 3 times for this award, which he hasn't won it yet, but it's going to give him a really good shot to win it in the full season award. It's Andrew Willarett, his 3rd time being nominated for the MVP. Again, led the Bears in OPS, 2nd in batting average, 4 home runs, which was tied for 3rd, 21 RBIs, which was in the top 10. A fantastic month for Andrew Willarett, and we'll see if he can finally get his first MVP of the Month award. Bernie, our next nominee.
Next nominee was my pick for the monthly MVP winner, 12U Floyd's very own Liam Schreiber. It's his 2nd nominee of the year. He had 6 home runs, which was 1st in the Bears, 27 RBIs, which was also 1st in the Bears, and had nearly a 1.8 OPS.
Yeah, a fantastic month for Liam Schreiber. Bernie's called him the best hitter in the Bears, at least in the youth Bears, several times, and I think he definitely lived up to it this month. A great month for him. I'm going to go with the guy, we are going to go with the guy as a nomination, but I'm going to talk about our final nominee. It's his first time being nominated, and another guy who kind of just came out of the blue for this 13U Floyd team, who had, again, a monster month, and it's Ivan Saxon. And this is a guy who, if you look at his season-long stats, has put up a pretty darn good season, but this month, a 1930 OPS was 2nd in the Bears. A 606 average was 5th, and 8 doubles was 1st in the Bears. A monster month for Ivan Saxon. How about 2 catchers getting in the top 5 in the MVP award? You know, I like to say, Bernie, that the rarest thing in baseball is a catcher who can hit. And we've got 2 catchers in the MVP conversation this month. A great month for Ivan Saxon and a great month for the Bears as a whole. So, Bernie, a tight MVP race. Go ahead and tell us who won it.
The MVP winner, his first time winning it this season, 12U Floyd's very own, my pick, Liam Schreiber.
Yeah, it's a great pick before the month, Bernie. And yeah, a monster month for him. So let's go ahead and move on to our high school awards. This is obviously the first time we've gotten to give high school month awards because this is their first full month. We'll start with the Platinum Glove And I'm going to start with a guy who's known for his defense, especially historically. When he joined the Bears, it was for his defense, and that's Jackson Bell. And he's playing second base predominantly for 18U Floyd, and he had a monster month, a .963 fielding percentage, only made one error all month long, and it's tough to do as a middle infielder to not make very many errors. So Jackson Bell, I think, is going to be a mainstay on this list, or has been a mainstay on this list for his entire Bears career, and a great month for him. Bernie, our second nominee.
Second nominee, go to 16U Floyd. I think that this guy is the best high school outfielder by a mile. It's going to be Mac Floyd. Like you said, he's great at everything. He can make some catches that, like, there's no one else even gets close to. I mean, he has a cannon for an arm. He just does everything right out there.
Yeah, Mac, I think the favorite to win this award on the season, and gets his first nominee here. I'm going to go with a guy who's playing shortstop for 18U Floyd. He was probably the best defender for 18U Floyd all month long, and that's Eddie Hogan-Miller. And I'll tell you what, this is a guy who did not play shortstop for them in the past, because obviously Liam Risley was with that team for a long time before he graduated. Eddie Hogan-Miller, he was a monster at shortstop this month. He had a .975 fielding percentage, which was tied for the highest of an infielder in the Bears organization. And a guy who, he doesn't look the smoothest all the time fielding ground balls, but he makes every single play. And I think that's what's important. He had a very nice month as the 18U shortstop. Bernie, our next nominee.
Next nominee, we're going to stick with the outfield theme. Go to 15U Burnsville, my center fielder, Freddie Smith. Fred's was my center fielder, so I watch him all the time, of course. And I've watched a lot of Mac Floyd, and Fred kind of has these flashes. Like, these flashes where he'll make a Mac Floyd type play. But he can't make it consistently yet, and I think he's really developing out there. Also doesn't have the quality of the hose that Mac Floyd has, but hey, he's going to get there. I believe in him. I think he's going to get there eventually.
Yeah, I think he could definitely be a future Platinum Glove Award winner in the Bears. But a very nice month for him, his first Platinum Glove nomination. Our final nominee is going to be the 16U Floyd shortstop. You notice a lot of center fielders, a lot of shortstops on this list, because those are where the best defenders go typically, and that's Lucas Levy. He was tied with Eddie Hogan-Miller with a .975 fielding percentage as an infielder, and it's tough. Typically your shortstop's going to lead your team in errors. If you look at most youth teams, and even major league teams, the shortstop leads the team in errors because they get the most opportunities to make errors. And Lucas Levy, he's another one of those guys who's not overly flashy. I think he, earlier we were talking about the two categories, and Ben Lillard's in the makes these unbelievable plays he doesn't, he shouldn't make. And Lucas, I think, is kind of in the other category where he just makes every play. I mean, he's not going to go out and make these crazy, flashy plays, but he's going to be super consistent and he's going to be super reliable. And I think that's definitely a path to win the Platinum Glove Award. And Lucas was a fantastic infielder for that team all month long. All right, Bernie, those are our 5 nominees. Who brings it home for the month of June?
The first high school Platinum Glove Award winner for the month of June is going to be none other than, I think he was the favorite, Mac Floyd.
Yeah, a crazy month for him. Defensively, he obviously did not make any errors, which isn't saying a whole lot from the outfield, but when he makes the extra outs that he does, I think he was certainly deserving of that award. Let's move on to our Cy Young race, and I'm going to get things started with a guy who I don't know if I expected him to be in the Cy Young race, but he put up a fantastic month, and that is Rhys Payne. Reese Payne was very good this month, led the Bears in innings pitched, yet led all high school Bears in innings pitched, and he was top 4 in strikeouts, walks, and ERA, and he was 5th in FIP. A 2.33 ERA and 15 strikeouts to just 7 walks. A very nice month for Reese Payne. Our second nominee, Bernie.
Second nominee, going back to 16 Floyd, we already talked about it a little bit. It's going to be Lucas Levy. He was top 3 in the Bears in innings pitched, Ks, FIP, and his ERA, which was a 1.29, was ranked first among at least all high school Bears pitchers.
Yeah, a great month for Lucas Levy. I'm going to move into a guy for 18U Floyd. He was, in my opinion, hands down the best pitcher for 18U Floyd this month, and it's Jack Bussin. He was first in the Bears high school guys in strikeouts and first in FIP, and I love my FIP. A 1.68 FIP, a 1.56 ERA, and 23 strikeouts to just 7 walks. A monster month for Jack Bussin on the mound. We'll see if he can keep things going for the final 3 weekends. Bernie, our next nominee.
Next nominee going to 15U Burnsville. It's going to be Alex Hobson. He was top 2 in high school in innings pitched and Ks. He had 21 Ks in the month with a 3.13 ERA. And he's taken a massive jump this year. At least early in the season, he's became the ace of the rotation so far. He's gone out there every Sunday. He's done a great job so far this year.
Yeah, Alex Hobson, he may be the most improved pitcher of any pitcher in the entire Bears, and certainly put on a statement this month. A fantastic job for him. Our final nominee is going to be Sam Wortham. He had a very nice month for 16U Floyd, a very good pitching staff 16U Floyd had this month. 16U Floyd's pitching staff was so good this month that Elliot Myers, who might be the best pitcher in the Bears, was probably the fourth best pitcher this month. That's how good the 16U Floyd staff was. Sam Wortham had a 2.69 ERA and had the fewest amount of walks of any qualified pitcher in high school, just 6 walks for this month, and also was top 5 in ERA. A very nice month for Sam Wortham to kick off his Bear career. All right, Bernie, who won the Cy Young for the month of June?
Cy Young for the month of June. He was top 3 in almost every category possible. So, I think it's very deserving to go to 16U Floyd's Lucas Levy.
Yeah, a great month, a dominant month for Lucas Levy, and we'll see if he can keep things going for the last 3 weekends to bring home that season Cy Young Award. We'll see. All right, our final award is our high school MVP, maybe the most notable award, because obviously our older guys, they're supposed to be our top players, and the best of them is maybe the best player in the Bears. I'll go ahead and get things started with Reese Payne, another guy who's in the Cy Young conversation, and another guy who maybe we didn't think was going to be in the MVP conversation preseason, but a monster month for Reese Payne. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Reese Payne, a 1055 OPS. He hit a homer and was top 2 in the Bears in doubles. He had 4 doubles. A very nice month for Reese Payne. I mentioned before it's tough to find a catcher who can hit, and Reese Payne is certainly a catcher who can hit. He had a very nice month, did Reese Payne. Bernie, our second nominee.
Second nominee, I just talked about him. It's going to be Lucas Levy from 16U Floyd. We've already mentioned his name twice for both Platinum Glove and Cy Young, and he's making an appearance in the MVP voting. He was first in the high school Bears in home runs and RBIs as well. And yeah, he's been very good behind Mac and Brennan in that lineup, and that's part of the reason why 16U Floyd's been so successful to start the season. Yeah,
16U Floyd had a monster month, and Lucas Levy was a big proponent of that. And I'm going to stick with 16U Floyd for our next nominee, and it is Mac Floyd. Mac had a 457 average and a 1205 OPS. He was top 2 in high school Bears in hits, average, OPS, doubles, RBI, and home runs. He was the only player in our high school to be top 2 in every one of those categories, and he